Okay, hold up. Nah, you know what? I'm leaving this. I'm leaving. I don't care. You can have it. You can have it. Hold up. Gamers? What is this? Gamers! No, it's the real account. I don't know how to put this into words other than I cannot believe that we got this. I cannot believe they actually listened and we actually got a freaking emergency ban list. Look, and it's so many too. It's so many. It's freaking Protoss, Mjolnir, Hachi, Ouroboros, Barrier, and 2 Barrier statues. Now, I personally, I don't even know why the Fire statue is in here. I'm just assuming that it's also because Banshee can search it. So it's like, they are just trying to take away all the floodgates you can access with rank 4s. So like Granite, you can search Patchy and Barrier statue. And with it, because the thing is, like, theoretically, if you leave the Fire statue alive, then instead of making Gallant Granite, they could just make Banshee and search the Fire statue, which would be the same thing, right? So this is actually very heads up, which is, once again, I'm blown away by how heads up this is. So this is not a full ban list. This is not like, okay, we're gonna address Yami, we're gonna address Mitsu, we're gonna address Dracotail or whatever. This is not a full. This is an emergency ban list. This is because of what happened at YCS Anaheim and the fallout afterwards, where everyone was like, yeah, okay, we expected a good format, and we got a bunch of floodgates, and this is the answer. This is insane. This is crazy. I mean, look, dude, Dimensional Barrier. I've been suffering from Dimensional Barrier since 2016. It's been 9 years. It's been 9 years I've been complaining about Dimensional Barrier. Man, dude, I look, there's you can say whatever you want, but 2025, the TCG, like, it just doesn't miss. They just don't miss with their decisions. Like, okay, they might mess up here and there, they might miss something, but like, there's a lot of stuff happening this year that is unprecedented in terms of like how good it's been. No more Protoss, no more Artifact Lock, no more D-Barrier, no more Ouroboros Hand Loops, no more searchable Pachi or Barrier statues in Mitsurugi starting October 27th. The crash out worked. I mean, look, I have no idea. I have no idea if the video that I made that went viral about this had any sort of impact on this decision. I'm not gonna claim that I'm the reason for this, but I'm hoping that it at least contributed to it, because I will say that much. It was one of my most viewed videos of all time, and one of the ones that, like, it sparked a lot of discussion, you know. So I'm hoping it contributed to it. I don't know if it was the reason. I don't know if they would have done this anyways, no matter what, but I'm very happy that it's happened. I don't care. I don't even care if they even saw the video, but I'm just happy that that the discussion was there, and I'm happy that something happened about it. Yeah, no, I'm almost, look, D-Barrier is the main thing that I was super pissed about, but Mjolnir, Protoss, Pachi, and Ouroboros are really, really toxic cards too. This is going to take, this is going to help the TCG make a huge step towards less toxic futures. Are there going to be cards to replace these cards? Of course, yes. In some cases, there's going to be floodgates that are going to replace these. And I'm sure certain combo decks are going to be able to still find certain floodgates or combos or endboard pieces that are going to end in non-games. But specifically, D-Barrier has been an offender of non-games since 9 years. And D-Barrier that's not even a combo thing. That is just something that just happens because every deck can play Barrier and every deck can hard draw Barrier. So we're hitting both things. We're hitting the hard draw D-Barrier, and we're hitting a lot of the most powerful endboard pieces in Protoss, Patchy, Mjolnir, Ouroboros, and stuff like that. I wish I could talk about this for even longer, but there's nothing much to say here. There's nothing much to add. This is incredibly necessary, incredibly good, and is gonna make me so happy throughout November. I have so many tournaments lined up throughout November, and I wasn't sure how I felt about the format because there was a lot of decks that I liked in the format, but there was a lot of individual cards. Most of them are on this list now that would probably have negatively impacted my experience throughout the month of November, because I'm playing in November alone. Within 4 weeks, I'm playing 4 regionals and a YCS. So the amount of times that I would have gotten D-barriered or anything like that is probably would have been more than 0, and now it's 0, so that makes me happy. Yeah. No, look, I can't say anything other than hats off to the TCG for all of these decisions. All the way throughout 2025, there's been so many good decisions. Of course, you know, last ban list, they missed these cards, and it was something that I wasn't happy about, and I voiced my concerns. And now it's been handled, so I got nothing to complain about here. You know, it's very, very good. I want to say one thing to all the people that are going to say, like, okay, where are the Yummy hits? Where are the Mitsurugi hits? This is not the goal of this list. The goal of this list is not to be another normal ban list, right? This is a freaking emergency ban list for the floodgates. This is like saying, we want you guys to play Yummy, Mitsurugi. We want you guys to play Draco Tail. We want you guys to play whatever. Like, it's not supposed to change the decks that are being played. It's just supposed to change how we play Yu-Gi-Oh. Actually, it's gonna make us play Yu-Gi-Oh from the get-go, right? For the most part. Now, are people gonna flock to the next? Like, what's the cards that they missed here that people are probably gonna go towards? You know, people are still gonna play Dimensional Fissure in Mitsurugi. People are probably gonna try to replace D-Barrier with like Featherstorm if they're playing Ryzeal. But even if you're playing a Ryzeal deck with Featherstorm, you still don't get Protoss or Ouroboros. So it's still a lot healthier. Like the Ryzeal deck just won't be able to floodgate you inside their engine as easily. And yeah, they might play Featherstorm. And then maybe, here's the thing, maybe if Featherstorm replaces D-Barrier 1-1, maybe Featherstorm is up next on the chopping block. You know. I think it's hard to understate how much it means that they even are doing this. And I know for a lot of people are going to look at this and say, like, this is the bare minimum, but for years it hasn't been. For years this has not been the bare minimum. I was not expecting this. I was honestly just expecting them to do nothing about it. I was wholeheartedly expecting to just keep getting D-barriered throughout the rest of this format until we would get a ban list in a couple months. That's what I was expecting. So seeing this is something that makes me super happy, because I feel like it is getting more and more obvious that things are changing in a very, very positive direction in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. This is so many things this year combined. You know, we're starting Genesis format, which is awesome. Mainly because a lot of these cards are also not in it. We're getting better ban lists. We're getting emergency ban lists if something isn't right. We're getting full arts. We're getting better price support. Like there's so many things where I feel like we've been calling for these things for so long, and now it's actually happening. Which is good. It feels like we're finally being treated properly as a community, which is something that you would think is required, but it's not been like this for a long time. So as someone who's played this game for a very long time, let me tell you, 2025 is a special year in terms of the quality of the decision making that they've done. It truly is a special year. And I couldn't be happier about it. This it's not going to spark like a new discussion on which this does not. I feel like this does not really change much about the decks in the format. Okay, I guess let's talk about it for a second. Ryziel probably suffers from this list a lot because Ryziel can no longer be truly toxic, at least until they find something else. I'm sure there's still some combos out there, but there's not going to be anything as good as Searchable Protoss and Evil Swarm Hand Loop for 2. Even if Ryziel finds some very powerful combos, they're not going to be as powerful as before. Crystron K9 is going to be a much fairer deck now. Unless there is another lock out there that I'm not aware of that you can do with rank 5s. As far as I know, Mjolnir and Paradise Smasher were the only ways to lock your opponent out of the game using the rank 5s. So Crystron K9, funnily enough, I think remains a playable strategy while just becoming weak to board breakers. You know, you can now actually like Dark Ruler no more the deck. You know, it's something that you can do. Even something you guys are saying Spell Canceller, okay? Even Spell Canceller has more ways to beat it because you can all of a sudden maybe play Lava Golem, maybe play Spear Mode, maybe do whatever to it. Like that is something you can handle as opposed to a lingering Floodgate in Mjolnir. Do I like Spell Canceller? No, I don't, but it's definitely healthier than Mjolnir. So because you can then maybe beat K9 Crystron by just fear moding them or something like that, or you know anything really that beats a monster. And even Spell Canceller doesn't even stop every single deck in the format. Some decks can actually play into a Spell Canceller somewhat. So you know, you can still play K9 Crystron, I'm sure, but it's going to be a lot tougher to make it to beat board breakers now. Yami Mitsurugi stays a good deck. However, one of the reasons, genuinely, one of the reasons to play Yami Mitsurugi was the fact that it was good into D-Barrier. With D-Barrier no longer being a thing, maybe Pure Mitsurugi has actually something going for it, right? Because Pure Mitsurugi going second into D-Barrier was miserable. It was an unplayable deck into D-Barrier. You basically skipped your entire turn. It doesn't matter if you had a hand trap for your opponent's turn previously. If your opponent opens D-Barrier against Mitsurugi, you're not playing the game. And that is now not going to be as relevant anymore. So you might see Pure Mitsurugi being the deck of choice for more people again. Yami Mitsurugi is still very valid. 100%. Yami Mitsurugi is still a valid deck, but D-Barrier was a reason to play that deck over one of the pure decks. So D-Barrier being gone is a massive deal for the curve. I can only speak from my perspective. From my perspective, I definitely had moments in this format where I didn't play a certain deck because D-Barrier existed. For me, decks like Pure Draco Tail or Pure Mitsurugi definitely were like at least one step down because D-Barrier was a thing in the format. So that's already good. Yeah, Pachi and the barrier statues being banned is going to make Pure Mitsurugi a lot more healthy. Of course, once again, deck is still going to probably play Dimensional Fissure, but at least they can't access that with their engine. So yeah, that's also a positive thing. Yeah. Just ban all the statues at this point. Look, I agree with you, but I find it hard to complain right now about them missing like a Dimensional Fissure or a barrier statue or a Harpy's Featherstorm, because I do truly think that these cards are like, the way I look at it is that these floodgates are the ones that are being played because they are better. Not every floodgate is the same quality of a card. Not every floodgate works as consistently as these cards do. And if people are going to use D-Fissure now instead, or if people are going to use Featherstorm doesn't help you if you get hand trapped and you can't end on a rank 4 in a Ryziel deck. Featherstorm doesn't help you if you brick. D-Barrier does. If you brick and you set D-Barrier, you just skip your opponent's turn and maybe you draw your starter next turn, but then you're basically going first with a battle phase. So there's a reason why people play Dimensional Barrier over Harpy's Featherstorm in a lot of decks. And that is because D-Barrier is better, easier to use, doesn't require anything to be activated, and auto wins against basically every single deck that only focuses on one summoning mechanic, which a lot of decks at the moment do. So, yeah, these floodgates are being played because they're searchable, accessible through the extra deck, or incredibly broken in the sense of D-Barrier, right? And so, and once again, this is a process. I did not even expect them to make this ban list, right? But if there is a couple of floodgates that just replace these cards immediately, then hey, maybe they're gonna do it soon for these other ones as well. Because this proves one thing: it proves that they heard our concerns and that they listened to it. And this is not a small thing. This is an emergency ban list that happened like a couple weeks after Anaheim, instantly, a couple weeks after the last ban list, and hit 7 cards instantly. This is one of the most amazing things they've probably done ever in terms of that. You got to make more rant videos. See, and that's what I meant, or like that's why I made that video, is because I genuinely care, and I was hopeful that they would eventually listen to it. And I think this is also partially something that, like, this is why I do that. I didn't make that video to just cry about it and get some views from the freaking the Doom posters about Yu-Gi-Oh, which is why I made a follow-up video saying I still like Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, I just wish it was better. And that is the place where that video came from. And I'm really happy that it resonated with so many people. And I can only hope that it, you know, played a role in any of this, which I have no idea, but it's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like anything I would say at this point, I would just be repeating myself, but this is very, very awesome. Tier list. This is not the type of ban list, like I said earlier, that warrants like going back into the content loop of like these are the best decks after this ban list. This is not a ban list that shakes up the decks in the metagame at large. This doesn't change the decks that you play. This only changes the way you play the game. It actually lets you play Yu-Gi-Oh. That's very funny. That is very funny. I wish, dude. I wish. I just got here. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, you're welcome. Once again, I have no idea to what extent I had any influence on this, but even if there's a small influence, I'm very happy about it. This is a quality of life update, not a ban list. That's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it, because it literally, none of the decks in the format become unplayable because of this. You can still play the decks. It just drastically reduces the amount of non-games for now. It's just, we're gonna play the same Yu-Gi-Oh as before, but we're gonna play more of it. So if you were a fan of the previous format, if you were a fan of the decks in the previous format, this is awesome news, because you're just playing more Yu-Gi-Oh now. You're just playing less games against D-Barrier. Your Mitsurugi opponent post side deck is not going to search Dyna. Artifact, not Artifact. Chris Strong K9 remains a playable deck even without the artifact. It just has to play actual Yu-Gi-Oh against board breakers now. And even Ryzio decks, to an extent, can still make powerful boards, but they just can't lock the opponent out of the game and hand loop. So we're just gonna get more Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all that this does. It's all that this does. It's just we get to play more Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is all I wanted. Arc Nemesis Eschatos. Yeah, sure. Maybe people play Eschatos now, but the problem is Eschatos is not nearly as easy to win with against certain decks. You deserve a Nobel Peace Prize for this. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Is this the greatest balance of all time? No, it's not the greatest balance of all time because all of this is 100% necessary, and they basically had to do this from my perspective. I think they had to do this, which is why I said they have to do this. But it is probably one of the best decisions of all time because I'm pretty sure that like 10 years ago or even a couple years ago, this just wouldn't have happened. It is a very important precedence for Yu-Gi-Oh's future that they are willing to do this, because there used to be times where ban lists would just have their set like 3-4 months, and in the middle just nothing would happen. Even if someone discovered a problem, or if a floodgate was running rampant, like it was just like, you know what? Yeah. So in that sense, it might still be a 10 out of 10, 100%. Considering Draco Tail then for the next events, 100%. Like this is making me want to play decks like Draco Tail, like Pure Mitsurugi. Like this all of this is back on the menu now. All of the decks that I made a video, in case you haven't seen it, from a couple days ago where I talked about the current format, where like my approach to my latest YouTube video was, can we, like, where do we go from here? Like I complained about all these floodgates, I complained about all of that, but I'm not going to quit because of it. So what can you do, you know, in terms of deck choice, in terms of non-engine choice to handle the current format? And in that video, I talk a lot about, you know, like why I wouldn't consider Mitsu or why I wouldn't consider Draco Tail for the November tournaments that I'm attending. And one of the biggest reasons for that was they just don't feel like they're relatively fair decks and lose to D-Barrier because they're too one-dimensional. So like that's an option again now, right? I do think Draco Tail becomes a lot better from this. What do you think of people saying that these cards kept Yami and Mitsu in check? They also kept every other deck in check. It's not a good argument. None of these cards keeps Mitsu Yami in check. Branded best deck, I fear. Even Branded becomes a lot more playable because of this, because Branded was one of the worst decks out there you could imagine into D-Barrier. Yeah. All right, it's back to the drawing board. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh is an option again. We can actually play Yu-Gi-Oh again. See, Charlie likes it too. Yeah. Yeah, you want food, don't you? All right, gamers. It's been an exciting day. I gotta go feed Charlie now, but This is amazing. It's an amazing time to be a Yu-Gi-Oh player in 2025 because we're getting communication, we're getting alternative formats, we're getting amazing decisions, we're getting emergency ban lists, unprecedented stuff. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I need to go back to the drawing board now for all the regionals in November. Gonna have to rethink a lot of the stuff that I was thinking about, a lot of the decks that I was considering and stuff like that. We're gonna talk about all of that. This list is in effect on the 27th, which is the Monday, and I will be going to locals next week, so I'm gonna be able to film some gameplay with the new ban list immediately on Tuesday. So no, life is good. Life is good.